Alright, anyway, let's see what we get in game number 2. So it's going to be on Polaris Rhapsody. Okay, this map is, I would say it's actually a little bit of Protoss favored, but we will see. So, let's see. We got minus tutacz as the yellow Zerg at the bottom right location, and his opponent is going to be the red Protoss dsaqwe at the top left. Yes, Assault. English is not my first language. Okay, so the only thing that actually really kind of changes compared to Sniper Ridge in terms of at least the very early game is that this is a 2-player map. So there are a few possibilities to do some kind of a cheesy style. And it's not only the fact that you can do them, but you have to respect that your opponent might be doing something like that. Now, we'll see though. We'll see how it goes. So, first things first. It seems like it's going to be another pylon on the natural. Alright. Worked last time. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I guess Rich is going to be going for the overpull again. Yep.
At least so far we do see an overload.
Now, I think that there is an interesting thing about overpull. Overpull is kind of like the... It seems like you could be doing something like heavy attack early on, but you usually don't do that, so... It's basically a way to force your opponent to get some extra defense so they can't actually be aggressive against you, I would assume. Because it's kind of funny, if you were playing against somebody, a Zerg player that would go for, say, 12 hatch, right? Then you might have a chance to completely skip the forge and go straight to gateways. And then you can produce zealots that actually can attack your opponent. But due to the fact that the forge is required against an overpull when you're expanding, the cool thing about that is that once the cannons are laid down, then that's economy that was not made to gateways. So that's kind of the first reason I would assume why the overpull is that used, and also because overpull actually doesn't really, I think, get you that far behind in terms of economy. Now we do see a drone being hidden to try to get... I mean, dsaqwe is a little bit playing with fire right now because, okay, he just want to confirm that he does see the pull finish. Oh, and the drone will get down the hatchery first, no problem. So really good move. That kind of a little cheeky move by... Oh, and actually that will force 2 cannons before the Nexus, due to the fact that since there was no expansion for such a long time, no drone, and the pull was seen exactly at the moment when the probe arrived, then I think dsaqwe was not sure if this was actually an overpull, so he may have just committed to the cannons just in case. Now we do see a third going to be going down really soon excuse me, for tutacz. And I mean, it's kind of funny because this base, since it's a double gas base, it's actually really cool for any gas heavy build. Now the problem with this base is also it's kind of far away from your other bases, and it also is a little bit harder to sunken. You don't get a SimCity here normally. You have to use the minerals in a way that you put maybe a sunken behind here, something like that. So there are some possible builds by the Protoss that could potentially not allow you to defend it efficiently. Like, you have to spend a little bit more economy, more drones as a Zerg to get that defense on this base. Now, you could of course counter that by going something like an early Hydra, then basically being the one who pressures, but I usually don't think that tutacz is that much of a fan of an early Hydra bust, and against a very good player who knows how to defend, that's usually kind of understandable, because you're risking the game on the fact that you will do damage, or more likely that you're not going to be defended efficiently. Now, we do have the core coming up. Alright, so core is going to be building slightly before the Nexus is down. Alright. Okay, so I mean, the tech is still going to be slightly, I would assume, delayed for dsaqwe due to the fact that the Nexus was delayed as well because of these 2 cannons. But he does keep the probe on the map, which will kind of give him the chance to at least scout something. Now, tutacz, of course, as you can see, pretty ready to try to intercept the probe. Whoa, pretty good with dsaqwe. So dsaqwe is really on top of his probe so far. I would assume that's not that difficult for a player of his caliber, while you're actually not having any other heavy tasks to do. But it's still really important because this probe is also making tutacz be a little bit paranoid to make sure that he can actually catch it. Now, Well, tutacz is kind of slowing down a little. We can see. All right, there goes the drone, and we have the lair finished, and there's a spire. Spire, go, go. Yes, the spire. So we do have the spire now. In this game in particular, I don't know if the Corsair is actually going to kill any overlords, if they are able to hide well. Oh, well, actually, this definitely should fall. Like, if this Dragoon just moves a little bit, yeah. And that's actually pretty big. Is it going to fall? Oh my god, barely escapes. For a second there, I was thinking, yeah, that's it. That would actually be pretty big, because if tutacz would have lost that overlord, then the first Corsair would probably be able to go somewhere else, like for example here, or maybe even to the main. But as it stands, the first Corsair is most likely going to try to hunt down this overlord before it escapes. Now, we'll see if that's the case, but that's definitely what I would think that would be the first target for the Corsair. Now that actually does allow tutacz to make the Scourges, I would assume, and make sure that he can actually get the Scourges before the Corsair actually manages to take another overlord down. Okay, so this overlord is gonna go down. But the next one, yeah, exactly, where's the next one? So the Corsair really has no idea. It seems like dsaqwe remembers that this overlord was over here, so he might actually get that one. Yeah, because Spire just finishes. So still two, most likely two overlords is still gonna go down. Now so we also see this game the +1 attack and the +1 attack. So far dsaqwe following up exactly as the previous game. Now in this game, I would assume, I mean, there are two differences. Oh, actually the hydrogen is really early. So yeah, this game seems to me like tutacz is actually going to change it up and not go for any kind of mutas. As we can see, there's only one gas so far, and yeah, no more gases here. Also, we do see already the SimCity being planted down, so Scourges. Oop, okay. So it does seem like this time tutacz is going to be changing it up. And also, in a way, I mean, the Citadel was, I think, kind of similarly timed, but this map it's not smaller if you think about natural to natural distances from Sniper Ridge. Maybe just a little bit, but not too much. But once the thirds are taken, once these middle bases are starting to be taken, then the distances are extremely small. So both players need any kind of army that can not only be slightly mobile, not that much as in the previous map, but also that can hold positions relatively well. So we see Hydro Speed first, so no lurkers. Okay, that's fine. I mean, lurker builds aren't really that efficient unless you catch your opponent without a robo, and then basically until they get the robo, you can just basically drone and get another base and then reinforce. But otherwise, it's also a little bit of a risk to take if you go for just one or two lurkers early on. So the first units are going to come down, just not a big army. Again, a small pressure. So it seems like dsaqwe does really like this kind of style. Hi people. And I would assume that he likes the style because he knows that if he goes early on with a few units, you can see that the drone saturation for this base isn't excellent. It's good, it's not bad, but it ain't excellent. So definitely tutacz would have liked to get a few more drones, but due to that small harassment early on from these units, then he, well, actually this push out or fake push, he does want to get some units to get ready to stop it. Now, the natural, I mean, the units are kind of far away, and if these units commit and get in, they might actually even snipe the hydrogen. I mean, I don't know if that would be really that important at this point, but let's see. So the dsaqwe does seem like he just pokes in, but he really knows that there's a lot of units somewhere. He just doesn't want to get cornered. So far pretty smart by him. Oh, he might catch a few hydras here, just one. And again, his fleet of Corsairs, of 7 Corsairs, +1 is finished. And he's gonna start hunting overlords. They don't have any Caprice upgrade yet. Oh, okay. So the ground army is forced out, but the air army is really now the problem. And this Corsair fleet is actually gonna start killing overlords extremely fast. 1 goes down, 2 go down. This could be a 3rd one. No, not yet. But bear in mind, guys, that even though if you don't kill a lot of overlords with these Corsairs, and actually, wow, he's still getting some kills, you're actually forcing most of the army to stay at home to defend it, and this it basically speaks of desperation due to the fact that Tutacz is attacking. He's not going to be defending like any of his overlords that are going to be popping out, and that means almost no new units. So once this army does collapse after like a few storms or something like that, then there's pretty much nothing that Tutacz is going to be able to reinforce this with. Now the Corsairs do go back. I guess, you know, it's not that big of an army for dsaqwe in terms of air anyway, so. But they could still be doing something. These Corsairs can still look for overlords. There's some here. Actually, there's a lot of overlords here. So definitely I would understand if Tutacz actually was a little bit afraid and said, no, I gotta attack. But right now, with the fact that he's coming back again to defend, and these Corsairs again are going to be starting to do some harassment and some damage, Tutacz is not in the best position in this game. We can see that the third is going to be taken down now by dsaqwe. So at the same time that the entire army of the Zerg is down here and is trying to defend the overlords that are now going to try to run for their lives. Oh my god, this could get a lot of overlord kills. Yeah, this is bad. I mean, one or two Corsairs might die because of this. I think one died. Yeah, one probably died. But one Corsair, for making sure that the Zerg is so heavily supply blocked and at the same time can't produce anything else, is more than enough to warrant this kind of a play. Even if you can see that the minerals actually went up quite significantly for dsaqwe during that, his army is still growing, and Tutacz's army is not growing at all. So eventually it might come down to it, like the army will be able to actually attack and defend a base, while Tutacz will have to fight only on one place. So far these Corsairs are doing way too much damage for Tutacz. He's really starting to feel the pressure. Now, this army, yeah, I mean, it can actually get something done. Oh, one High Templar snipe. Oh, and then, oh, two High Templar snipes. Whoa, two High Templars for like 1, 2, 3 Hydras? So that's a very good start to come back to this. And lurkers are up, so definitely they can start doing something. Now the problem, yeah, I mean, once you see the lurkers, you're like, okay, no, not yet. I can't fight that yet. But remember, guys, that the army is still growing of dsaqwe. So even though he's kind of denied, he can't get this expansion yet, okay? But he can still, like, say, get this one, start cannoning it up really heavily, or even start sending small, well, not small, but actually pretty big zealot squads to try to take out a base or two. So definitely in the army versus army fight, dsaqwe wants the gas, but in the harassment department, like a shuttle drop with 4 zealots is still harassment, so you can actually still keep doing damage because of that. Now, I don't like the Corsairs here. They should still be looking for overlords. You probably can still find, yeah, as you can see, if the Corsairs find this location, they're gonna do a lot more. Oh, definitely the Archons you don't want to lose at this point as dsaqwe, because unfortunately for dsaqwe, since he only has a mineral only as a third, gas is going to be a problem for him. If he's trying to get, he's trying to get upgrades, which means, you know, upgrades, a lot of dragoons actually, wow, huge amounts of dragoons. Definitely gonna cost him a lot of gas, so you don't want to be spending, like, you don't want to be losing any gas units at this point. Oh, okay, that's not the best way to, yeah, that's not the best way to engage that. You need to go first with the dragoons. Oh, nice storm. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Pretty good storm. This is not looking good for Tutacz. I mean, even there, as you can see, he's gonna lose some lurkers, and if this army actually pulls back, wow, really good reaction right now with dsaqwe. And if you look at this is actually not breakable with this amount of army. Like, yeah, there's no way you break this, Tutacz, you just don't. Okay, so the army will go back, and it seems like dsaqwe is going to fall back completely to make sure that this is cleaned up. But does he have an observer? Okay, there's the first observer, so he's kind of bleeding out a little bit of units, but finally the observer does get in, and some High Templars will actually get sniped. One of them, okay, not the worst thing in the world, but still, again, guys, every single High Templar is extremely precious right now. You don't want to be losing any gas units. Not yet. dsaqwe still has the same problem. You can make cracklings and fight a late game scenario, and cracklings only cost the minerals. But you can't do that as a Protoss player. You can't just make zealots. They're not going to cut it. So you really don't want to be losing gas units, because replacing them might not be a possibility relatively soon. Now, the hive is up, and I would assume that crack is done for the lings. I would assume, I'm not sure. we do see that the upgrades are pretty good actually for, wow, Tutacz is ahead in the upgrades. That's something that you rarely see in Protoss versus Zerg. I'm not sure if that's because of the gas that I was talking before, but it definitely is not a good sign. The problem with the upgrades is not only the, well, the Zealots will kill Zerg with 2 shots and that kind of stuff. It's just the effectiveness of the amount of army that the Zerg will have. So, not looking good. I mean, dsaqwe was in a pretty decent position early on, but right now, Tutacz is basically caught up in supply. And if you know anything about PvZ, you know that you don't want to be at the same supply as the Zerg. You actually want to be at least 20 supply up. So, well, unless of course you already have the late game composition. Oh, some overloads. Okay, we'll die. And again, the gas base is going to get denied. Actually, I think I was killed. So, oof, this is really not looking good for the dsaqwe. I mean, if he can make some headway with this army and maybe break a base, that will be okay. That will be fine. But he's going to be in a lot of trouble. Oh my god, that High Templar actually doesn't have any energy, so it's not going to be able to storm here. And these cannons alone are not going to defend this. But this army is way too far off to go back. Like, there's no way that army gets there in time. So we got a small containment here with just a few units, and then this base is going to go down for sure. Now, with that base down, the High Templar, no, it won't even get the energy to kill it. Now, this base does go down, but this is a mineral only for a mineral only. And at this point, if there's one player that actually needs more, is the dsaqwe. His units are more cost more, so definitely. Okay, so still, shoot. I mean, the army supplies are still relatively close, so this is not a full-on base trade yet, but it is kind of getting there. We can see that Tutacz is now defending his natural. Yeah, you can just go for this other base. Oh, still units here though too, so you can get flanked if you go down that way. So definitely can be kind of scary. Now one looker does die here. Another one will get some shots down there, but this army should be able to at least get together to this location. Oh, bad position to be fighting in without storm, and as you can see, the flank is already coming back from Tutacz. So Tutacz is going to be trying to flank from both locations. Storm not gonna go down actually. Oh my god, this is actually pretty bad. There's no High Templars here at all. Like, this army is still nice for the Protoss, and it has the high ground, so it should clean this out. But bear in mind, guys, the dsaqwe is mined out. There's no money anymore for him, so I don't think there's any way that he can take this. No, he can't take this game. I mean, even if he kills this army and... oh my god. Are you serious? Oh, the dsaqwe, man. I mean, the dsaqwe is already dead. Like, you could make the argument that there is a chance for him if he manages to somehow take a base and defend it, but nah, he's dead. Nah, he's just dead. No economy whatsoever. The armies are still relatively even, so it's not like he's gonna crush the Zerg's army. So yeah, Tutacz is gonna take this. I mean, if the dsaqwe wins this, I'd be not just surprised. I'd actually watch this replay again and say, how the hell? That's not possible. And it's not possible. Like, it really is not possible. Even if you take an expansion now, you do know that Nexus does actually have to be built. Like, it's gonna take, I don't know, this time to still get it up. And it doesn't seem like Tutacz wants to give him the time. Now, okay, this Nexus does seem like it will eventually go down, although this lurker is still being annoying, but yeah, this Nexus will be... okay, this Nexus will be finished. So, once the Nexus is finished, then the 33 probes of the dsaqwe can go back and start mining. But during all that time, there are still 3 bases, although this one is about to be finished. Yeah, okay, 2. Let's say 2. 2 bases constantly getting money for Tutacz, and he is securing another one. So, as long as Tutacz fights, and the dsaqwe doesn't have any minerals to rebuild his army, that's all she wrote. Although I do think that Tutacz should instantly start, like, looking for a fight. You really want to be fighting right now. You don't want to wait until this actually gets any economy going. Okay, so it seems like Tutacz does seem like he wants to be fighting already. So, yeah, Lurker's coming up, and once this actually kills the red army, not a communist army, just the Red Army, I would think that that's going to be it. Like, DTs are still doing something, and we see that there's no overload right here, so definitely these DTs are actually going to be doing quite a lot of damage. But I mean, you can just start killing the probes, and by the time that, yeah, just look at the probe count, 25. So yeah, 50 supply to 96. Well, there's nothing here yet for tutacz actually to fight, so it's gonna at least take a little bit longer, but that's probably about it. I mean, this base is not really defendable with this army. There's no High Templars, actually. So the upgrades are... Whoa! Okay, this one Hydra, if it kills 2 High Templars, or even 1, that's actually going to... that really has to be annoying, but... Okay, so no, the High Templars will survive. Okay, so far, let's see. tutacz does get really close to mining out his bases as well, so he definitely wants to be retaking some of his bases, although I'm not sure about this one. I mean, you could get this one as well, right? You do have to defend this base, so you could technically take this one as well. Now, with about 60 supply against 103 and 3-3 on the Hydras. Ah, god damn it. 3-3 against 2-0-0. Ooh, man, that's... I mean, the upgrades for tutacz have been really stellar in this game. I am really surprised that he managed to get his upgrades so well, but yeah. Alright, so Nidus, well, I guess you could get it, just I don't see why. I mean, at this point, if tutacz saw that there is no more bases and there's just one base for the Protoss, there are two problems here. It's not only that you have to defend the base. How are you going to be putting pressure on the Zerg if, as the... Oh, okay. How do you put pressure on the Zerg if you have to defend your base because you almost have no army and you don't have even the economy to put some cannons? So, yeah. Well, guys, since we don't have that many games anyway, I'm not going to speed this up. I mean, let's see how it exactly ends. I mean, I think we all know at this point that there is kind of no way that the dsaqwe can get back into this. Although, I mean, yeah, maybe. I just don't think it's kind of doable. Look, even these 3 DTs should normally destroy Hydras, right? But look, the Hydras are just buying time for other units to get there. So, yeah, and now if you stop, he's just gonna start attacking. So, oh, okay. No, a cancel does go down, so it will get cancelled. Oh my god, there's drop already done too, so tutacz can at any point pick half of his army and just drop the main. And that, yeah, that kind of like, there's no way to defend 2 locations so separated from each other with almost no army. Alright, so... Oh! That DT, sneaky guy. Should die now though. Yeah, alright. So... Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to figure... Okay, good storm. That doesn't kill anything though. I mean, a lot of red Hydras, but it's 130 versus 74 supply. I mean, one base Protoss is actually... It's basically not enough to even produce your army fast enough. We do see that there has been made a lot of Archons and High Templars. Yeah, I mean, usually that's a good composition, but you do need like some Dragoons with it. You maybe even need some Reavers, because there is almost nothing that you can do with this army against lurker styles, any kind of style that involves lurkers. And if we also, like, there's also defilers, so I still don't understand though why tutacz is waiting for such a long time. I mean, in a way I kind of can understand that he knows he's so far ahead that as long as he doesn't allow any other expansion to be taken by the dsaqwe, he doesn't really have to rush anything. But do we have plague? Yeah, and also some plagues for good measure. Yeah, okay, so the dsaqwe kind of knows. I mean, there's defilers, there's a lot. I mean, I don't blame the dsaqwe for staying in this. Why not? Who knows? You can still get something done, right? But, yeah, okay.